We often talk about following your passion as a luxury, a personal choice, or a creative escape. But in traditional communities, following a passion is very often a physical demand. It is a heavy, brutal burden. For a young girl named Santila, that burden felt necessary. She spent her days watching the potter's spatula, drawn to the sharp, rhythmic tapping that turned shapeless mud into form. The immediate obstacle was her mother, Erenla. Erenla refused to teach her the craft, viewing pottery as a grueling, thankless chore that brought nothing but exhaustion and minimum pay. Erenla wanted to shield her daughter from the reality of the work. Gathering raw material meant trekking 16 kilometers to distant riverbanks just to haul heavy, wet clay back to the village. She pushed Santila toward weaving instead. It was a stationary, sheltered trade, safer on the body, providing reliable income for the family. Erenla's choice was practical, but it created a silence in the workshed. When a parent refuses to pass down a difficult trade, the specialized knowledge of previous generations has nowhere to go. The village noticed the gap. Concerned about the survival of their craft, the local council summoned Santila's father, demanding to know why the daughter of an expert was not being trained. The elders argued that a traditional skill is not the private property of one family. It belongs to the community's history, and ensuring its survival is a rigid social obligation. Under pressure from the village, Erenla finally relented. She took Santila through the preparation, digging the clay, hauling the baskets, and pounding the raw blocks and bamboo cylinders to reach the right consistency. Santila's drive allowed her to master the preparation phase quickly. She proved she could handle the physical labor. But the actual shaping was a different story. For nearly a year, Santila failed to form a true pot. Her hands could not yet find the coordination needed to guide the clay into a symmetrical curve. It highlighted a core truth of the craft. Physical strength and interest are ineffective without the precise, inherited technique required to guide them. One evening, the frustration boiled over. Alone in the shed, Santila threw her misshapen clay to the ground, convinced she would never learn. That was when Onula, a widow from the dormitory, stepped in. She offered the calm, objective perspective that Santila couldn't get from her own mother. Onula identified a specific mechanical error. Santila was building the base correctly, but her technique for the pot's mouth was failing. She gave Santila a specific instruction: stop trying to force the shape. Instead, she had to observe the exact placement of her mother's left hand and the specific rhythm of the spatula. The breakthrough happened on a quiet morning. Feeling ill, Erenla left Santila alone in the shed, with a simple instruction to make as many pots as she could. Suddenly, Santila's movements changed. Her hands, the clay, and the spatula moved in coordination. The shaping became natural and unconscious. The pots began to pile up. Santila worked until she had nearly matched her mother's daily output, producing a full batch of flawless earthenware. She ran home to share the achievement, only to find her mother lying on the floor. Erenla had passed away while Santila was in the shed. Santila felt a crushing sense of guilt, fearing that her sudden mastery of the skill was somehow linked to her mother's death. When Onula returned to the workshed, she found 2 rows of newly made pots drying. The batches were identical. Looking at the thickness of the clay and the rim shapes, it was impossible to distinguish the mother's from the daughter's. The skill had moved. In the silence of the shed, the identical rows of clay proved that the craft had been